Seventh, salvation. Imagine the earth as like a restaurant. On the earth, we have a certain kind of cuisine. Picture whatever kind of food you want. Burgers, tacos, pizza, seafood, whatever. Now, imagine heaven is like a restaurant, but with the best kind of all foods. 5-star servings that are so good that we on earth can hardly even conceive of food looking this good and tasting this good. Heaven-aimed Christianity says Jesus saves you in order to take you to heaven and enjoy the heavenly cuisine with Him forever. Until then, we wait on the earth. We make do with earthly food. We tell people about heavenly food and help them get their reservation so they can have a heavenly seat. But there's very little connection between the earthly restaurant and the heavenly restaurant. And that's the difference. Heaven Now Christianity says you do not have to wait until you get to heaven to have a taste of the heavenly cuisine. When you come to Christ, when you become a Christian, God takes a foretaste of heaven's food, like an appetizer, out of the heavenly restaurant and brings it to the earthly restaurant so that you can enjoy some of heaven's food right now. Jesus alludes to this idea when he spoke with his followers in John chapter 14. He told them not to be troubled because he was on the road to death. They were troubled. They believed him when he said he planned to die, although they couldn't exactly understand why. He said not to be troubled and that in his Father's house are many rooms, and that he is going to prepare a place for them in order to take them where his Father is, so that they may be with him there forever. Now, that sounds a lot like heaven-aimed Christianity. The Father's house is heaven. Jesus wants to take them to be with him in that place. That's true. I believe that, and I don't reject that, and what I call Heaven Now Christianity teaches that. It affirms it. But here's what heaven-aimed Christianity has difficult time receiving. Later in John 14, Jesus said, "If anyone loves me, he will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we," that is, the Father and Jesus, "will come to him," the word keeper, "and make our home with him." The means by which Jesus and the Father will make their home in the word keeper is by the Spirit, whom we have just spoken of. But the word there used for home is the same word used when Jesus said many rooms, describing what was in the Father's house, or heaven. In other words, where Jesus promised to take his followers in heaven, he also promised to establish for them now on earth. Not fully or exactly, but partially. The big deal then about getting saved is not necessarily that you get heaven, but that you get God. That's Jesus' point. God makes heaven paradise. The big deal about getting saved is about getting God. Heaven would not be heaven without God. God makes heaven heaven. Getting saved helps you get God right now. That's why I call it Heaven Now Christianity. So let's return to our restaurant image and flesh it out. So right now we receive a foretaste of the heavenly food. When we die, we are taken from the earthly restaurant into the heavenly restaurant. There we have nothing but the heavenly cuisine. But God doesn't intend to serve the best only in heaven. When the end comes, the heavenly restaurant will expand into the earthly restaurant, so that all features that made the heavenly restaurant great will be replicated within the earthly restaurant. They will have all the same funding and be fully owned and operated by the same owner. So, let's keep fleshing out the image. Since you are God's representative, made to reflect him, you are not only a diner, you are also a chef. Right now, when you follow Christ, you extend a foretaste of heaven to others who have never tasted that food. You do so by your devotion to God and God-likeness. At the end, when heaven fully saturates earth, you will not only enjoy the fine dining, but you will also be a world-class chef, cooking up meals for other folks to enjoy and taste. You are unique. God made no one else like you. Your personality and gifts and experience will all blend together with Christ's redemption, his power, his presence, so that you represent God in a special way that no one else can represent him and reflect him. No one will serve the same exact dish on the new earth. To recap, the foretaste you receive now and the whole platter you receive later all come with what we call getting saved. The whole point to getting saved is less on getting a reservation in the place called heaven and more about getting the person who created heaven, God.